There are so many people who don't want their name to be heard when it comes to criticizing the government, and this is what they normally say. They used to say that they don't want to revolt a constituted authority, they don't want to revolt against a constituted authority, they don't want to misbehave, they just want to be loyal to the government authority. Since someone has been elected, whether the person ruled well or the person did not rule well, you wait for the person to finish, his tenure. And some of these people are business people. You know why? They are afraid so that their businesses will not be touched. They are afraid so that their businesses will not be closed down or government policies will attack the government. But so unfortunately, some of these people have closed down their business because the government is not working, so they are losing. The inflation, everything is affecting their company, but they refuse to talk against the constituted authority because they never wanted their business to close down. And now their business is closing down because of the same thing they refuse to talk against. How will you feel in Nigeria without agitation? How will you feel in Nigeria without anybody criticizing the government, without anybody speaking forth? There are so many things that people who refuse to talk against the bad leadership of the government and bad policies don't know. They are accomplices. If you are seeing where evil things are going wrong, you see where things are not working well, and you keep quiet because you don't want anybody to call you out, you don't want them to say that you are a bad somebody, you just want to be loyal so that if there is any benefit you want to derive from them, you will derive it. This is just the mentality of so many Nigerians, and it is a failed mentality. And that is the mentality that has kept Nigeria in this level. I have a Chinese friend, and most of the time, I find it difficult to communicate with him because he don't speak language very well. I understand French a little bit. He don't speak French, and the only language he speaks, he don't speak it very well. The only language that I understand that he speaks, he don't speak it very well. So I find it difficult to communicate with him sometimes, but most of the time, I understand that what they are doing that is making their life to be very excellent today is because they labor for the future generation. They labor for the unborn children. But you see, what is going on in Nigeria today is that people don't want to labor for future generation. Rather, they want to labor for themselves and their family. And they don't know that what they refuse to fight against is going to affect what they have labored down. So you don't even know whether your children will benefit from what you are laboring if you do not fight bad government, if you do not talk against all the constituted authority who are making sure that the citizens are not progressing. No matter how hardworking you are, it takes opportunity for you to succeed in an environment where there is no good policies from the government, where there is no security from the government, where there is no basic amenities like light, road network, and so on and so forth. It will affect your ability directly. So many people who are living in Nigeria succeeding, I used to praise them because it's not easy to survive in that awkward environment. Because there are so many challenges, there are so many threats to your destiny, to your progress. So, if you are a businessman or you are someone who is aspiring to become a political office holder tomorrow, if you don't know where Nigeria is dancing to, you are going to miss it. Because where Nigeria is going to now, if you are among the people who never criticize the government, in your present the evil is happening, and maybe tomorrow you come out, you want them to vote for you, nobody is going to vote for you. Absolutely nobody is going to vote for you. If you are part of the people who just think and believe that by supporting the powers that be, by supporting people who are oppressing the masses, that is where you are going to pave your own way to becoming who you are going to become, you never knew what is coming until then. Because Nigerians have been pushed to war. Nigerians have been pushed to the extent that what is coming is inside them. It's like a potential, a crisis in them that they will unleash. Nigeria is a country that the citizens have patience a lot. They can delay to do things, but whenever they start doing it, it is going to be catastrophic. So, whatever you are doing, be careful. It could be your boss. I don't care to know who the person is, your pastor, your imam. When you see someone who is not doing well, when you see someone who is making mistakes, when you see someone who is trying to do something that is contrary to the progress of the society, try to caution the person. Do not be afraid to talk to the constituted authority, because who constituted the authority? It is the people. So if the people who constituted the authority and the authority decided to punish them, what else do you want the people to do than to speak against the constituted authority, if possible, to remove them out of the seat? No matter how you try to say that revolution will not happen in Nigeria, political revolution will not happen, all those protests will not happen, like what is going on in Kenya, it can't happen in Nigeria. History has demonstrated that such a thing has happened in other places. And what led to such things in other places is what we are seeing in Nigeria. So there is probability, 90%, that such a thing must happen in Nigeria. It must happen. Unless the government retrace their step and urgently now do what the citizens want. Nigeria is a country that the people don't demand a lot of things from the government. What are they demanding? Just make sure you give them power supply. I'm talking about the electricity. If possible, give them 247 electricity. If Nigeria have 247 electricity, it will improve a lot of things, including the economy. That is number one. Number two, you have to make your refineries to be working so that you will reduce the price of natural resources that God have used to bless them. The petrol, the diesel, or petroleum product to say, both the kerosene, just reduce them to the lowest price. If you reduce all of them, because these are the things that are affecting the masses, it affects the price of transportation, it affects the price of commodities. So when you slash the price of petroleum product down and you give them power, forget about it, Nigerians will excel. The next thing they don't want you to do not oppress them. Do not stop the journalists, give them freedom. Even though you did not employ anybody, Nigerians will employ themselves. Nigerians are great. They are talented. They are creative. They don't need more. The most important thing, and the third thing I know that if Nigeria citizens have, they will not complain again, is security. You see this rating, when they have lights and some basic amenities, they have the price of petroleum product being slashed down to the lowest price. Maybe fuel could come down to 200 naira per liter or thereabout. And you make sure that they have security, because security is one of the major problems again. Because most Nigerians, I'm not talking about Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, all these big cities, because these places are not Nigeria. If you are listening to the news from Lagos and Abuja and you are using it to compare to what is going on in Nigeria, you will miss it. The rural areas where the news don't even cover, these places are the real Nigerians. Because when it comes to the food produce or food products, these people who are from the rural areas, they are the major people who are producing from their farms, all this food we consume. And when there is insecurity, or when there are insecurities, and because of that, they refuse to go to farm, and you see all these bandits trying to demand for tax from the farmers, and even farmers are afraid because they don't have money to pay ransom. You know what that means. So it is directly affecting everyone. It's going to affect the rich, it's going to affect the poor. So security is very important, and these are the three areas I know that if government can prioritize, before you know, all this agitation, it will reduce. It will reduce, coupled with all this discrimination in Nigeria. I will not call it race because it has nothing to do with skin color, but this is about where you come from, the minority or your tribe. So it is discrimination and bigotry. So these are just the few things I know that if Nigeria tackles it, before you know, everybody will have the love of the nation. People will become patriotic, because you don't expect people to become patriotic to a nation that is not working. Absolutely no. You don't expect people to become patriotic to a nation that is not working at all. So for so many of you who are really aspiring to become a big business holder tomorrow, to become a political office holder tomorrow, and you want to leverage your vision, you want to leverage your ambition on the detriment of the masses, I don't think you will get there. I don't think you will get there, because when you don't see what the masses are going through, when you don't try to stand with what is right, you just want to keep quiet, you keep mute, you mind your business, be doing it in the presence of oppression and all those things. When you get there, those people that you refuse to talk against, one way or the other, will also kick you out. There will be crisis, because there are so many ways you did not correct before you get there. But when they know where you stand, they know that yes, you're always talking against what is not right. They already know where you stand. If you succeed through that manner, no matter what you do tomorrow, they know that this person is this. But when you refuse to talk because I want to get to this position first, I want to have this business first. When you have the business, definitely their policies one day will affect your business, right? maybe you are vying for political office, it will affect you, right, not to win an election. And you started talking at last. They will say, because we are helping now, he's not talking against us. They will call you disloyal, that you betrayed them. Like what is going on in Rivers. If Fubara have been outspoken, I know that they will not even make him to become governor. So maybe right from time they have been loyal to Wike. Wike has been doing all his rascality. Fubara was loyal until he becomes the governor. He said, no, this enough is enough. And he's breathing crisis today because he refused to talk before he became a governor. So that is a lesson I want everyone to learn. Speak up when necessary, or you keep your quiet perpetually, despite everything that you are going to encounter tomorrow.